Hey guys, tonight is a weird night. Of course, when you see this will be over and done, but this is Tuesday, February 12th when I'm recording this, and I spent most of my morning and afternoon at the ER with my husband. He has had back issues for years, and then in July he started, like, it was really starting to bother him more than usual. And then in October, he was doing like these yoga stretches for lower back pain, and something went wrong. And he has had pretty intense pain down his like left, it like radiates up like kind of in his butt cheek and goes all the way down his leg. And like super painful, like nerve pain. He has done physical therapy and chiropractic and different shots and different medications, and things are not helping. We went to see like a back doctor last week, and he ended up we were really hoping that he was going to do something kind of quickly, because it's getting like ridiculous. Like, he's having a really hard time. It's making him so he can't go to work. I mean, and he's not like that at all. He's a very laid back, happy guy, and it has been making him frustrated. You know, he's on edge because he's in so much pain, and he apologizes then to us about being grouchy, and the kids and everybody, we're very understanding. Like, we can see he's in horrible pain. And so they were scheduling him for, the doctor said that he's a candidate for some epidural injections, and that he was hoping that would fix it, and he thinks it could. But if not, he's a candidate for surgery, because they can see like a disc that's bulging out that's pressing into the nerves, and that's what's causing him all this pain. And it's just increasingly getting worse, and they pushed out till the 20th to do this epidural injection. He's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. And they put him on like a stronger, like a steroid and stuff to try to help. Well, this morning he tried to get out of bed, and he was literally yelling out in pain and crying. Like, he could not move. It was horrible. It was horrible. Thank God our kids slept through it, because my husband, it was a snow day and they were sleeping in, and as my husband's like, I don't want them to see me like this. Like, and he hated that I was seeing him like that. By the time we were getting around to we decided to go to the ER, because he called his sister who's a nurse, and she's had back problems too, and she's like, you need to just go, you know. And I wasn't sure if we were going to have to call an ambulance to come and get him, or if I would be able to get him into our truck to take him. Of course, it's a snow day, because it was sleet and snow and like icy, just horrible. So the nearest hospital that we go to is almost like about half an hour away. It's like 32 miles or something. I don't know, something along those lines. Anyway, we had to drive like 40 the whole way down the expressway, because it's just it was horrible weather. And then basically they gave him a Valium and a shot of Dilaudid. I think that's how you say it. Did nothing. Half an hour later, still no relief. He's still writhing all over this bed, just in agony. Okay, agony. And it is so horrible to watch somebody be in pain like that, and there's nothing you can do. There's literally nothing I can do to help him, to relieve it in any kind of way. Like, nothing. And it's like a very helpless feeling. I hate that feeling. And so about half an hour after they had given him that, the PA had come back in, and she's like, still nothing. Like, okay, let's get this, you know, you must need another shot. And my husband's kind of always had where he doesn't take like medications, pain medications and stuff don't work well on him. Like, when he goes to the dentist to get you know, like fillings or something, they can't just do one shot of Novocaine. They're like 2, 3. Like, I mean, he's like, it's just like, it doesn't take effect. He's had like different little surgical procedures, you know, where they just like freeze you, you know, whatever, with a needle and stuff. And they have to give him multiple doses. It like just doesn't work. So it's really weird. So ended up being about an hour later by the time they got the order, came to give him another shot of Dilaudid. And again, nothing. They ended up discharging him and saying, there's just nothing we can do for you. Like, we can't do anything about this pain. So this is turning into a whole different video, but I'm not gonna go there. I might actually cut some of this out because I thought I would just do, you know, no, I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna talk a little bit, and then I'll do another video. Because I want people to realize, like, I know, like, there are people who live with chronic pain, and I feel like they are very misunderstood a lot of the time. I feel like people look down on them. There are people who get where they need medications to get by daily, to be able to even function at all because they're in so much pain. Thank God that is not what my husband is like. However, we want to make sure it doesn't get to that point. And so I'm going to take this video in a whole different direction than I even intended to. But I'm going to tell you, I am in my pajamas, hanging with my gnomies. Oh, you got to see the pants. There's little gnomes in the trees. They're pretty cute. In my sports bra. Because I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little sad because my husband's not here. And what do I do when I'm sad? Well, I like to record. It just makes me feel better to talk to you guys. And so here I am in my jammies. And I've got a cup of coffee with me. So we're just going to have a little chat. So basically, thank God he is not in that position where he's like a chronic pain. I mean, he does have some chronic pain, but it's not like debilitating in any kind of way. It's just more of a discomfort. And but watching him be like that, I cannot stand it. And so I feel so much for people who have spouses or children or parents or whoever that are chronic pain sufferers, because it is hard to watch people that you care about be in this agony, and they're not able to be fully present a lot of the time in situations because they're so consumed by pain that it's like they can't even, like, for instance, like, you know, we'll talk about something and I'll be looking at him and I'm like, you didn't hear what I said, did you? And he's like, no, I'm sorry. And I can tell he's trying, but he can't focus because he's in so much pain. And like, that is terrible. That's terrible. But anyway, I know that people have like this, some people are annoyed by people who, you know, claim to have chronic pain, but nobody knows the cause of it. Like, just because you don't understand something, to me, it's the same as like having anxiety. You can't, just because it's not something like a physical wound or injury or something that you can see, it doesn't mean it isn't there. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't take over some people's lives, you know? And so it's just made me really think about, he is always so incredibly understanding to me and patient with me, and just like doting when I have my migraines. People who don't get migraines don't understand them. And I hear people all the time be like, oh, I had this migraine, but they're talking about how they're like out somewhere and whatever. I'm like, no, like, you don't know what a migraine is then, because like migraines are no joke. Like, my migraines put me in bed for 2 solid days a month, usually. Somehow this month I got a little lucky. I blessed, I'm going to call it, because somehow I was able to function and do some things that I needed to do. But typically, like, I am throwing up. I am in bed just rolling around in agony. My whole left side of my face, from here in my, like, underneath in my jaw, it radiates up into my ear and up into my eye socket. I lose some vision in my left eye. I'm just like, I mean, I literally, you will see me, like, I'll be like this, because it's like, it like takes over the side of my head, and it makes me super nauseous, and I throw up, and I'm just in misery and agony, and there's like nothing anyone can do to help me. I just am in my room, like, balled up. I'm usually freezing cold, but then I get where I need cold on my head, like that feels good, and pressure, and I'll just be like pushing, and it's horrific. And I feel bad for him or my kids to see me like that, because you just feel so out of control that you can't do something about what's going on with your body, you know? And he's always so kind and just loving to me and doting on, like, anything that he can try to do. He knows there's not really much he can do to help, but he's just very understanding. My family has had to miss things because of me and my migraines. I mean, last year we didn't go celebrate Easter with family because I had a migraine, and I actually had like a flu that went into my migraine, so it was real bad. But like on my son's bowling tournament last year, I actually did a video while we were away at the bowling tournament. My family all went out to eat. We were staying at a hotel. They all went out to eat, the whole bowling team and like their families and stuff. And I was back at the hotel room throwing up and in bed. And the whole next day for his tournament, I was sitting like a zombie trying to watch and be like present. And so it affects my life. It takes away days of my life. And that's only 2 days a month. That's a lot. I feel like that's a lot. But compared to what a lot of people deal with, that's nothing. And so I think I just want to use this opportunity to tell people to be kind. Just because you can't see what someone's suffering with, or you don't understand it, or you've never personally felt it, doesn't make it not real. It doesn't make it not debilitating for them. And trust me, the majority of people who have these things, the last thing they want is for it to affect other people, for it to keep other people from enjoying things, or, they don't want to not be able to enjoy things. But anyway, so to go on from today, I am so thankful for the way things fell into place. I know God is working in this situation. I started to cry about it. My husband and I were talking about it before he left tonight. We have seen throughout this day God walk us through some things, and one of the most awesome things is we have a fairly new, within the last year, a new worship pastor at our church, and we haven't really gotten to know him well. And in fact, he has been out for several weeks, I think now. And strangely, I sent a message to my bestest friends who I love so much. One is a pastor and one is just a friend of mine from my church, and asking them to pray for my husband Brian about his back, and letting them know that we were at the hospital and this was what was going on. And immediately they both were like, do you know, and talking to me about this worship pastor, do you realize he just had this back surgery and blah blah blah. So my one friend was like, I just gave him your phone number so he can text you with some information and stuff. So he and I, while my husband's on the stretcher in the emergency room, just in agony, we're texting back and forth, and he's giving me all this fantastic information about certain doctors that he went to see, some situations he had. He said, I don't want to scare you, but one of the worst things I did was get an epidural injection. He has no feeling from his knee down on his right leg, and they said he won't probably regain it for a year from the epidural injection gone wrong. And that's something my husband was already nervous about and stuff. And so, because we were questioning, is this the right approach? Is this the right thing to do? And so, kind of talking back and forth with him, getting all this information about the doctor that he ended up seeing, where he went, this team of doctors, that kind of thing. Got connected with them. So when the ER discharged my husband today, we immediately, when he got in the car, called about this doctor. Well, unfortunately, the doctor who did his surgery is out for the next week and a half. And the soonest they could get him in to see another doctor in the practice was the day that he is actually scheduled next week to have the epidural injection. And he's like, I don't think I can wait that long. Is there anything that you can do? Well, the doctor's office ended up calling back today and saying, is there any way you can get here right in the morning when we open? He wants to squeeze you in. Now, this is well over an hour away where this doctor's office is. And it's in the city, pretty busy city. It'll be right at rush hour. If you don't know, I have driving anxiety. Horrible driving anxiety. As soon as I knew this was a situation, I was like, oh no, I can't take you. I know I can't. Trust me, someone would end up dead. Because I don't know. If you don't have driving anxiety, you don't know. But trust me, if you do, and I know there are some people who do, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm in panic mode now, because I'm like, okay, he needs to get there. This is a great opportunity. I can't take him. Well, I was texting my family, as everything's going on. And so I said, he's got this appointment. They can get him in right in the morning, but this is where it is. And my dad said, I'll take him. Just let me know when and what the details are. My dad is fantastic. My dad, oh my gosh, I love him so much. And he knows, he never makes me feel bad about my driving anxiety. He has taken me all over the place, and just because he knows. And so he's like, don't worry about it, I'll take him. Well, we're supposed to be getting more bad weather tonight. And so we're that far away, that early in the morning, rush hour, all this stuff. So they decided to get a hotel room down there tonight so that they're right there by the doctor's office. So my dad just came and picked up my husband and they went to go stay in this hotel for the night. And I'm just so thankful for my dad and just my family in general. And I just think it's like so awesome. My dad is taking my husband and, you know, taking him down here and spending the night in this hotel to take him to this doctor. My dad has horrible back problems. He has a degenerative back condition. And so he has struggled with it for years. So he knows how debilitating and miserable a back, issue is. So I don't know, just everything, the way things have gone today has been such a blessing, even though it's like through something horrible and pain and whatever. My husband's attitude is fantastic. I told him when he was getting ready to leave, I said, I just have a really good feeling that tomorrow is going to be good. Like, you're going to get good news. Like, this is going to be good. And he's like, I think so too. Like, and we have so many people praying for him. And I feel really good about it. Like, I don't know. I just know I'm believing God is going to heal him and that he has been pointing us in these directions. And actually, when I asked the worship pastor, I said, do you know anything about this doctor? He, is in the same practice, but the doctor that you went to isn't there. Like, do you know anything about this guy? And he's like, he's in good hands. They all work together. They're colleagues. They like have a team, they consult each other. He's like, it's perfect. That'll be great. And so we're so excited about it. Just the way things fell. They didn't fall. God orchestrated them that way. And just the church family that I have, I'm so thankful for. I'm so thankful. I mean, my friend, obviously, she's a pastor, so people might be like, well, yeah, because that's what pastors do. But that's not, she's just amazing anyway. But she's like, can, we come there? Or do you want somebody to come to the hospital? And, my husband's like, no, like the roads are terrible. Please just pray for me, whatever. Well, when we were getting ready to leave, we're walking out and here is this worship pastor who just had this back surgery, a few weeks ago. He came to the hospital to talk to my husband and pray with him. And so did another guy from our church. And so they prayed over him before we left and just are really encouraging and, keep in touch, like texting, like let us know what's going on. Let us keep, and like, just amazing. It's amazing. I know not everyone's a Christian, but if you are and you don't think that being in church is important, please just let me tell you how much it is. Like the Bible tells us to not give up meeting with each other. These are the reasons why. We uplift each other. We encourage each other. We're there for each other when we need each other. You don't have to know each other. We have never spoken to this guy ever before. I've never spoken to him. My husband hasn't, and he came to the hospital to talk to my husband and encourage him and pray for him. And like, those things are so priceless. And I'm just so thankful. I am blissfully thankful, even though I'm bummed that my husband isn't here tonight. I'm just so thankful for all of the things that have come about because of this. And, life is so good. And even though, let's just be real, really crappy things happen sometimes, and there's pain, and there's death, and there's sickness, and there's just, there's a lot of terrible things that can happen to us in this life. But there are so many beautiful things. There are so many amazing things you can see in the midst of those things if you just look for them. God is there with us. If we ask him to be, he is there with us all through everything. I know he is orchestrating this whole entire thing. I know there's a purpose for my husband's pain. There's always a purpose. And it's drawing us closer to people that we might not have, really gotten to know before. I'm just very encouraged. And so I just ask that you just be kind and loving to people. You never know. Somebody who seems like a grouch, like just a grouchy person, and this has made me kind of think about this. They might be somebody who's in pain all the time, and they might not have any intention of being grouchy, or maybe not even realize that's how they're coming across, but they're so consumed with the pain that they're feeling that it comes out that way, and you just think, gosh, what a jerk. I'm totally guilty of it, and especially working in retail, you deal with some people that it's like, oh my goodness. But you have no idea what somebody is going through. And this has kind of made me really think about that kind of stuff. Like, just don't assume that you know things about people, or, assume that the way they're acting is because of a certain reason, you really have no idea. And I also think too, I think about this a lot of time because I get my feelings hurt very easily. And so like if somebody is saying or doing something and it's like, I feel like I'm being attacked, I say to myself, get over yourself. Like, this has nothing to do with you. Get over yourself. Because we definitely do that. We make things about us and we make it personal when it may have absolutely nothing to do with us. So that is my advice. If you're someone who's easily, super sensitive all the time and always thinks that people are being mean to you or like, whatever, like, get over yourself. And that's not to be mean, because that's what I'm saying. I say it to myself all the time. Like, seriously, girl, get over yourself. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, we make things about ourselves when they're not. So, I've done enough rambling. But I just want to say, and I will keep you guys updated because I know good things are coming for my husband and I'm very excited about it. But it's been a great learning lesson for myself and I know him as well. We are both growing through it, and I just know that good things are going to happen, and we're going to look back at this just like we did with my son's seizure and everything we went through with that. If you've not seen that video, I will link it up here. Sometimes in the midst of things, you can't see the purpose and you don't understand why you're going through it. Why does this have to be this way? But you can look back later and you start to see how things all fell into place and the purpose that they served. And I fully believe that this is one of those types of circumstances that God is teaching us through and helping us grow through and just working through and doing great things through. And so I'm excited to see how everything plays out, because I know it's going to be good. It's going to be for our good and His glory, and that's all I really care about. And I know my husband feels the same way. So thank you for letting me just ramble. I feel so much better. And I just feel better to know that they're down there in the city before all the horrible weather comes. And if need be, they can just stay there tomorrow for as long as they need to. And yeah, life is good and God is great. And I just thank you guys so much for listening. And I will talk to you very soon. Bye.